As you guys know, there was a shooting at the Squirrel Hill Community's Tree of Life Synagogue, so I'm going to give a speech on that, and I just want to give you guys forewarning. I'm sorry, but I might get a little emotional during this. So for this week, we're talking about sacrifice and suffering. As many of you know, I've been hosting Shabbat as an opportunity for the new members to have an off-campus event where you all can get to know your pledge class, upperclassmen, but to also educate you on all the religious traditions of my people and to quell the misconceptions of our practices. This Shabbat comes a week after the deadly shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue that left 11 dead and numerous others hospitalized, including the officers who bravely fought the shooter until his surrender. Before I continue forward, I want to take a moment to thank the 4 officers who ended up ending the shooting. In a time where donning the gold and blue uniforms holds a negative connotation, it's moments like these that remind us all the sacrifice that these brave individuals make, putting their lives on the line to protect civilians, and that is one that holds the highest honor amongst all. This leads me to my point of tonight, to sacrifice and to suffer. For centuries, the Jewish community has endured and risen above tremendous suffering. From Egypt, the Holocaust, the homeland, and now suffering seems to follow my people everywhere we go. With only 11 million Jews being on this planet, the loss of even one individual is felt by each and every one of us. Joyce Feinberg, Rich Godfrey, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecil Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and Irving Younger were killed in this tragedy. While in Israel 4 years ago, I had the pleasure of spending time with the Israeli soldiers that were our group guides. We visited Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial Museum, where they repeated and emphasized a phrase that has taken a new meaning after last weekend's shooting. To save one person's life is to save the whole world. This phrase was more compounded when I walked through the museum and saw the names, I should say multiple names, of my family relatives who happened to be lost during the Holocaust. Hence why this tragedy strikes such deep chord with me. Just as each and every one of you would feel the loss of our members being in the fraternity, I feel the loss, their pain, and the family's pain. But as history has proven that through suffering we identify the sacrifices we must make to better ourselves as individuals and as a nation. We see suffering perpetuated in present day, children being ripped away from their parents at our borders, immigrants seeking asylum from the dangers occurring in their home countries, unarmed African Americans being assaulted, beaten, and even killed by corrupt police officers. Did you all know that a school shooting has occurred at least once a week in 2018 alone? Seems unreal, right? That's because these atrocities occur so frequently that we as a nation have become numb to them. It's unfortunate that a large-scale tragedy must occur for the masses to acknowledge there is a problem and ultimately there is a need to initiate preventative measures to prevent potential future situations. As Viktor Frankl identified while studying his fellow bunkmates during his stops through multiple concentration camps, through suffering we find our means to live, and currently those means to live are through sacrifice. Joyce Feinberg, Rich Godfrey, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecil Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, and Irving Younger all lost their lives, that I take solace in believing, I actually know for a fact though, that their deaths will lead to an eventual positive outcome. What outcome could that be, you ask? More legislation towards preventing those with mental health issues from purchasing firearms, better treatment programs for those same individuals dealing with various mental health issues, educating the youth on gun violence and preaching tolerance. But the largest and most impactful outcome is coming together. Coming together as a Jewish community to mourn the lives of Bernice, Joyce, Rich, Rose, Jerry, Cecil, David, Bernice, Sylvan, Daniel, Melvin, and Irving, just as we've done for countless centuries to acknowledge and overcome the suffering. Just as my people have come together, this very Shabbat is the embodiment of that philosophy. There are only 2 Jewish people in this room right now. Yet you all chose to attend this event because you recognize the meaning of brotherhood. Take a look around the room and what do you see? Various religious backgrounds, various ethnicities, people from different regions and culture spaces around this country. I mean, hell, we also have 2 twins down in the front, so that's kind of cool. You all chose to sacrifice part of your Friday evening to attend a religious ceremony different from your own. You all chose to join this fraternity, look into each other's eyes, and call each other brother. You all chose to stand behind one man out of 19 million, and we feel and say, we feel your pain, and we are here with you. Through my suffering, through each one of your own individual struggles, we can identify those in this very room we can all look at and say for a fact, we know they will be there for you in times of deep emotional instability. That is the true definition of sacrifice and aiding others in a time of need and in times of suffering. I ask that we all take a moment, bow our heads for a moment of silence for not only those lost in last weekend's shooting, but for everyone on this planet who's lost a loved one to senseless acts of violence, to everyone who's endured racism, religious prejudice, slander over sexuality, and for those who sacrifice their lives to prevent the suffering from continuing. Amen. I want to thank you all again for being here and listening to my speech, On a personal note, like I said in the speech, when I say I truly feel the loss of the people who were killed in the Squirrel Hill shooting, I do. Like, being in Israel and being able to experience what it's like walking through Yad Vashem, seeing the names of multiple family members of mine killed, some of which we don't even know. They don't even have everyone listed yet who passed. It strikes a deep tone with me. And the soldiers, from my stepdad all the way down to the people I was with while I was there, preached the fact that we go through missions understanding that if there is one soldier left behind, we go back to make sure we secure their life, even if it means the cost of others, because to save one is to save the nation. And that's true. And in a time like this, we need to recognize events like this where, like I said, you see so many different people in this room. I mean, look around, man. From being freshmen to seniors at our school, from being different religious backgrounds, different ethnicities, being parts of different programs, whether it's the military or what you guys want to do ultimately in the long run. It means a lot to me personally, knowing that you guys took the time out of your day to be here with me to do something like this. And I want to tell each and every one of you, I wholeheartedly appreciate it. And moments like these remind me that even though bad shit occurs on this planet, there are still groups of people that understand the bigger picture, and that every life matters, and that no one should go through the pain and suffering of losing a loved one to senseless bullshit on this planet.